On the morning of March 2, 1998, 10-year-old Natascha Kampusch was on her way to school in Vienna, Austria. Like any other day, she walked the familiar route alone. But that day, her life changed forever. Wolfgang Přiklopil, a 35-year-old communications technician, pulled up in a white van and abducted her off the street in broad daylight. Despite some witnesses seeing the abduction, the initial search yielded no solid leads. Přiklopil took Natascha to his home in the small town of Strasshof, just outside Vienna. There, he locked her in a tiny windowless cellar that he had meticulously prepared. The room, which measured just 54 square feet, would become Natascha's prison for the next 8 years. It was soundproofed, hidden behind a heavy metal door, and accessible only through a narrow entrance concealed by a cupboard. For the first 6 months, Natascha was not allowed to leave the cellar at all. Přiklopil controlled every aspect of her life, from what she ate to when she could use the bathroom. He threatened her, warning that any attempt to escape would result in her death or the death of her family. Despite the terror of her situation, Natascha displayed incredible resilience and determination. Over time, Přiklopil began to trust Natascha more, allowing her short periods outside the cellar under strict supervision. She was sometimes allowed into other parts of the house and even permitted to spend time in the garden, though always under his watchful eye. However, he continued to control her with fear and manipulation, reinforcing the idea that she could never escape. During her captivity, Natascha educated herself using books and a radio that Přiklopil provided. She later described how she clung to the idea of freedom and used her time in captivity to strengthen her mind. She refused to let Přiklopil break her spirit, and this mental fortitude would eventually lead to her escape. On August 23, 2006, after 8 years in captivity, Natascha saw her chance. Přiklopil had become increasingly careless, allowing her to do household chores unsupervised. On that day, while vacuuming his car in the garden, he stepped away briefly to take a phone call. Seizing the moment, Natascha ran. She fled through the streets until she reached a neighbor's house, where she immediately asked them to call the police. After 8 long years, Natascha Kampusch was finally free. Přiklopil, realizing that Natascha had escaped, fled the scene. He drove to a railway track and committed suicide by jumping in front of a train, forever silencing any possibility of hearing his side of the story. Natascha's return to freedom was met with intense media attention. The world was captivated by her story, and she quickly became the subject of numerous interviews and documentaries. However, her reintroduction to society was anything but easy. Natascha faced a barrage of questions, rumors, and criticisms, with some even questioning her behavior and decisions during captivity. But despite the scrutiny, she remained strong, speaking openly about her experiences and the complex psychological impact of her ordeal. In 2010, Natascha published her autobiography, in which she detailed her years in captivity and the mental strategies she used to survive. She described her complex relationship with Přiklopil, acknowledging the psychological manipulation and control he exerted over her, while also reflecting on her own strength and will to survive. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss our next videos.